May issue of New Zealand Truck and Driver is our third time on the road with the new generation Kenworth K220. Our first Giti Tyres big test experience was in September 2023 with the Pyramid Trucking 6x4 Aerodyne flat deck, and we followed up in July 2024 by testing a new Williams & Wilshire logger, an 8x4 flat roof sleeper model. The reason for a third big test is to sample one of the major upgrades from the K220 program. This new addition to the Rotorua-based Douche Transport fleet is one of the first K220s to arrive in New Zealand equipped with the new Cummins Endurant XD Pro 18-speed automated transmission. The XD Pro is the heavy-duty version in the new Endurant gearbox family, designed for trucks with more than 1850 pounds-foot of torque. In this role, it supersedes the former Eaton Ultra Shift Plus transmission. This K220 is an 8x4 tractor unit with a 2.3 metre Aerodyne sleeper and a Euro 5 spec 615 horsepower Cummins X15, producing 2050 pounds-foot of torque at 1200 RPM. The K220 is contracted to Goodman Fielder and makes Auckland to Palmerston North return runs 6 times a week, carting bottled milk, bread and other chilled food products. The truck is double shifted and its job description is big kilometres at modest weights. At the end of week 8 on the run, the truck had already clocked up 58,000 kilometres, although that includes 6 weeks of detours during the desert road closure. Night shift driver Gary Harper runs Rotorua to Auckland and back, while the daytime run with Raymond Evans is Rotorua to Palmerston North return, typically to Quality Bakers and the Longburn Dairy Factory. Also new for this role is the 30-pallet Fairfax Signature refrigerated 4-axle semi featuring caster steer and a lifting 4th axle setup. Local finishing work on the truck includes twin Donaldson air intakes added by Southpack Trucks, while a Bro Lube system makes sure there is always lube going to the load share front suspension. Marsh Engineering Services in Tauranga did the very smart stainless steel chassis covers, and Sign Edge in Rotorua completed the sign writing. We meet up with Raymond and the K220 in Rotorua at 6:30 AM with the truck loaded with chilled product and 3 pallets of empty milk crates. This load is about 14 tonnes, which combines with the 10.4 tonne tier weight of the K220 and 10.9 tier weight for the quad semi to put us somewhere between 35 and 36 tonnes all up. When it's fully loaded with 2 and 3 litre milk bottles stacked 5 high and 6 wide for the run north, the K220 typically has a 22.5 tonne payload for the run back to Auckland. Running at moderate weights helps to explain the effortless performance and impressive fuel economy the truck is demonstrating. With the 4.1 to 1 rear axle ratio, the truck cruises along at less than 1500 RPM at 90 km an hour in top gear. Fuel consumption reflects the moderate loads and generous performance, with the lighter southbound runs achieving fuel consumption numbers as low as 37 litres per 100 kilometres and the fully loaded northbound trip getting up to about 50 litres per 100 kilometres. Raymond says he occasionally uses the manual gear shift function, and the new transmission is always smooth and responsive in its shifts. The engine brake also works very effectively, and on the longest downhill run between Wairuru and Taihape, Raymond uses the wide shoulder to allow the light traffic to get past while the truck holds 67 km an hour in 15th gear on the max engine brake setting, with the engine at about 1800 RPM. On the run south, the lowest speed we see on the highway is 56 km an hour in 15th gear on the short and steep climb departing from Taihape. For the most part, the K220 delivers a reasonably settled ride, but there's the occasional big surface heave or series of sharp undulations which transfer some shock into the cab. It's all felt through the first axle, with much more controlled response through the second steer axle and from the Airglide 460 rear suspension. There's nothing about the truck working in this terrain and at these modest weights that suggests any sort of real effort from the 615 horsepower Cummins, and the gearing and the timing of the gear shifts work very well with the power and torque delivery. And the only time the transmission ever feels even slightly slow to shift is the first couple of gear changes as you pull away from stationary